I hope everyone had a really great Christmas and a fun and safe New Year. I want to warn you about this video. For me, it's going to be very difficult to get through, and probably the most emotional video I will post on Outlaws of Style. This is a very deep and personal thing that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and I think it's very, very important that I do share this because it is a huge part of my life, and which you'll find out as I get through this, and I might cry. I'm really hoping that I don't. It'll be really interesting to see what happens to this makeup if I do, but this is going to be very difficult for me to get through. So as you guys may or may not know, I am 29 years old and I am on disability. I have been on disability probably I was about 18, I'm thinking. This was a long time ago, so this would have been 11 years ago. So I have been on disability for 11 years. I've had health issues since pretty much birth, chronic severe ear infections, sinus infections, throat infections, severe stomach issues as well. There was always something wrong with me. I pretty much lived at my primary care doctor as a kid, and they all knew me, and it was hospitals, and already from the beginning it was just lots of tests, which is why I don't have fear of needles and knives and hospitals and doctors. Like, nothing with that scares me at all because I've just been around it for so long and so much. I actually have scars inside of my ears from all the ear infections as a baby. I am also legally blind. Legally blind isn't the same thing as being fully blind. It means that I can't drive, and it can't be corrected fully. I do wear contacts, and my vision still goes in and out. I have a blind spot in one eye that makes it really hard to get symmetry right, and everything's just always blurry, and without my glasses I can't discern anything, even like if it's this close. And sorry, I was mixing stuff on my hand, so continuing. And at a younger age I had an endoscopy done, which is where they stick a camera down your throat and into your stomach, because even as a very young child, I was having stomach issues. So around 17, I started having problems with my heart beating way too fast, and it kept me from doing things because it would just be so fast that it, usually when you're doing activity like exercise, that's what's making your heart rate fast, so then you get worn out from that. Well, I get just worn out just from standing up, and so I had to be put on heart medication at a very young age. So also, when I was 17, I had my first job. I was a vet technician, and my boss, the actual vet, pretty much just ran me ragged. I was doing front desk stuff like billing, which I'd never done before. I was bringing in the pet with their owner and assessing them, like weighing the pet, taking the temperature, writing down everything that the owner was saying, doing like a pelvis exam, getting the lab tests set up for the lab technician. I also stocked the rooms. I also cleaned the rooms. I also worked in the back with the animals that would stay overnight. I bathed and did flea baths for pit bulls. I had to lift these things. I did line cuts for cats. I had to do sanitizing. I assisted in surgery, declaw, and like spay and neutering. So this was my first job. I knew nothing about this stuff, and she had me doing all this stuff, and there was only 2 other people besides the main vet in this place, and it was busy. So I was being run ragged, being paid minimum wage, which at that time was like $5 and something. And so one day she comes in with flu virus so bad that everyone got severely ill, and some of the animals. I never went back to work. Everything changed for me after that. I don't know if any of you have heard of fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is usually happens. You usually get fibromyalgia from your body being traumatized and not being able to take care of itself and repair itself. So after that, just everything changed. I started getting really severe migraines. I started getting really bad body pains in my muscles, so severe that I would go into shock. I would hallucinate. I would get, my blood pressure would fluctuate. And then I started having problems with my bones, like every single joint in my body and my entire spine. I mean, elbows, knees, like my fingers, like there's something wrong with them as well. I cannot tell you how many of the discs in my back are bad. So I have arthritis and I have severe pain. I'm hypermobile in my joints, which means they're not put together very well. Like I've had my shoulders pop out and my leg pop out. End of 2009, after being in pain management and being in and out of hospitals, they decide that they want to try surgery on me as a neurostimulator implant, which they implanted into the lower part of my spine. It creates an electrical impulse that is supposed to block the signals of pain into certain areas. This was just only for my back, my lower back, which has the worst damage. And so I have 3 scars on my lower back and one in my hip where the battery was implanted. And it's not doing very well, actually. It's causing me more pain. I don't think anyone with fibromyalgia should get this, because our bodies are so sensitive. We feel pain 10 times more than anybody else does, and we're in pain all the time. So I will eventually need to be removed. I'm having more pain. It's Florida, so it's really hot here all the time, but just the little bit that is getting cooler here right now, just a little bit drop and the barometric pressure is causing me such severe pain. I am pretty much living in a heating blanket. I have a floor heater, I have a heating pad. I have to keep ice on my lower back because it's so inflamed. And if you guys thought this was bad, this is not the worst of it. Okay, so bear with me, guys. At the end of 2010, I started getting flare-ups, which with fibromyalgia you always get flare-ups, but I would get them so severe, and they would last so long. Like they would last about a month, and as soon as I would start to come out of it, it would happen all over again. And I didn't know how to explain it to anyone. Everyone I'm close to knows about the fibromyalgia, and you know, I really play down the pain. I mean, I've been living with it for 11 years. I don't want anyone to ever have to worry about it, so it was getting really hard to hide it, and I can sense that they were uncomfortable. And I had a particular friend that kept on like asking if like she had done something wrong. Like she can tell like there's something like wrong, and I'm trying to explain to her, you know, it's not you. I am uncomfortable, it's just my body. And usually, you know, I'm able to, you know, keep that like mask on so nobody knows and no one ever has to worry about it, because when I'm with my friends, I don't want them to worry. I don't want them to like, I don't want that to be the focus. I love them so much. And they've been so great and so supportive of me. And so the end of 2010, I started getting fevers. I didn't have a New Year's for 2010. And the weird thing about me and fevers is I have a lower than normal body temperature. So my fever is actually probably someone's normal range, or maybe a little bit above that. But I had a real fever, and I felt it, but I didn't feel like I had a cold. I mean, with fibromyalgia, you always kind of feel like flu-y and achy. So I started to really realize something was really wrong. And something was really wrong. And this isn't something you get from somebody. There's a certain amount of people, which I think I'm one of them, that if I were to have children, most likely my children would be able to get it. But it's not something I can give to you by any sort of contact. It's something that happens when your body isn't able to... There's been so much either mental, physical, or emotional trauma that your body, the hypothalamus, which runs your whole body, shuts down. Like, it malfunctions, and nothing can keep anything level. Myalgic encephalomyelitis. This is my diagnosis, and it is my personal hell. I have been housebound for a year, not including doctors, pharmacies, and the hospital. I've only left my house 5 times. I've only seen one person that I'm really close to. I've spent a lot of time in bed, a lot of the times not being able to sit up. It takes a lot for me to do the things that I do on my channel, to communicate with people, and I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me or saying, why are you doing it then? And the reason is if I'm not, then why am I living if I don't try? I want you guys to realize that as bad as it may seem, it can always be so much worse. I've never been able to follow my dreams. I can't see my friends. It's a big ordeal for me to do anything. And this is the stuff that you don't see in my videos, whether on my channel or here. This is the stuff that's edited out. And I'm not gonna explain it fully because it's such a big thing. But I'm going to put a link in the underbar that has a video that explains it better than anything I've been able to find, because it is one of the most complicated diseases out there, and it's underfunded, and a lot of people are bedridden and some have died. So please don't feel sorry for me. I am strong. I have been through so much. I just want you guys to know me and what I go through. Yeah, I was down in bed for Christmas, I was down in bed for New Year, and the only reason I got the last video up on my other channel for the contest was because that's something I had worked for hours on, you know, and suffered through, and my family helped me get it up, which I'm so grateful. I didn't have a Christmas, although I do have family that supports my channel and my dream that I will always push for no matter what. I'm never giving up. And so I just got like makeup and gift cards for makeup. And my New Year's resolution is to stay strong, take care of myself so that I never have to be one of the ones that are bedridden, and to appreciate the people that have been there for me and really tell them and show them as much as I physically can. And the thing about this channel is we want to push to, you know, put the message out to be yourselves, and this is a huge part of my life, unfortunately, so I needed to do this to share myself with you guys, and I really appreciate if you stayed through this whole video, and I will see you next week. Bye.